Greetings from Vietnam Online. Today I'm going to share with you one of the most famous Vietnamese food, so-called spring rolls. I figure that many of you have had spring rolls elsewhere in the world in one of the many Vietnamese restaurants abroad, or if you have made your way to Vietnam, of course you must have tried it somewhere. Even though it is very simple to make, the spring rolls of Vietnam have made it named for the top 50 best food of Vietnam in world famous travel magazine like CNN. And today I'm going to show you how. So let's see what kind of ingredients do we have here. So of course an essential part is pork. Here I use about 200 grams, and that'll be enough to make about 10 to 15 spring rolls depending on what other kind of ingredients that you put. Then I have 2 eggs, some dash of scallion, a carrot for grating later, bean sprout. You can find all of these ingredients easily in your local grocery store or at an Asian grocery store if you live nearby. Besides that, these are harder to get, but you can easily get them at an Asian grocery store or Chinese store. So I have mushroom, but you have to use the small CTK one, not the big one. And then wood ear come into the dry form, which will soak later. And of course, rice paper. Okay, so there are a few things to do. First thing first, I say to soak the dried mushroom and the dried wood ears so that they become something cookable. So what do you do with the dried mushroom? Cook the dried mushroom with some cold water. Remember, cold water, not lukewarm, not hot. And for the dried wood ear, you need some hot water because it's harder to soak and become soft. The next thing I do is to grate this carrot. First you peel off the 2 ends, and then you can either peel the skin or not. I prefer to de-skin it anyway, so just slightly so that to remove all the dirt again, even though I have already washed it. Okay, and after that it's easy. You can just grate it and put it right into the minced pork. You can use the whole carrot if you want, or just half of it. So I would use the half the carrot for grating, and then the other half I can make into something decorative, which I will show you later with the dipping sauce. So here the scallion. It's very popular in Vietnamese cuisine, and it adds a lot of flavor to the spring rolls. In case that you cannot find scallions in your local grocery store, you can always replace it with green onions. So by the time you're done with grating the carrot, the wood ear and the mushroom should be done. I drain the water. Okay, so now what's next? Only a few more steps left. The ready-to-use wood ear and mushroom, you need to chop it or mince it with a machine. If you prefer, I'd like to chop it, so I do it. And next would be the wood ear, the mushroom. You know, it's time to drain the mushroom when the mushroom is no longer dry, it's totally soaked and soft and choppable. That's the most important thing, being choppable. So yeah, here you can either put the soaked vermicelli or instant noodle into the mixture, but I prefer not to, but you can if you want. I'd like to put some bean sprout, broken sprout into here, just to give a nice fresh taste. Okay, the last step would be to add in some spice and salt and the eggs. I've used some salt. And finally 2 eggs. So you beat the egg into the mixture. That would help things stick together, and that's very important for spring rolls filling. I don't feel comfortable touching meat, so you see I still need to use some gloves. If you have watched some famous cook show like Jamie Oliver, you know that he hardly ever used gloves just because the human warmth from the hand can make the food feel better. But because it's touching meat, which I don't think it's a very good idea to use my bare hand. So you try to mix these together so that it becomes consistent and stick together. Here's the fun part. I'm going to show you how to roll a spring roll like a Vietnamese. Well, not Vietnamese, I'm a Hanoian anyway, so I'm going to show you how my mom would teach me to roll a spring roll. I use a spoon so that I can scoop out the mixture later evenly into the roll. The leftover rice paper, you can keep it in your kitchen in a not too humid, not too dry atmosphere, and in a package, I prefer. You put a sheet of rice paper out like this, scoop a spoonful of the mixture into the middle, the top middle of the roll. This is about the right amount because this sheet is rather large. And here's how you roll it. It's actually very simple, so watch it. Okay, first like this. And try to press it gently along the way so that it becomes tied together. And then on the two sides. On our website, we also have an article saying how to roll Vietnamese spring roll, so you can check it out too. And then roll like this. It's easy, isn't it? It's actually a very fun activity to do. If you are with your family, you can totally make it into a family activity, just like making sushi or Vietnamese summer roll. So you turn on the oven and put on a saucepan or a frying pan. I do not have one at the moment, so I'm going to use this pot, which will work equally as long as you can fry with it. First is to really heat it up until the whole pot becomes really hot. This will help to prevent the spring roll stick into the bottom of the pot. You can always put more oil in later if you feel that it's running short. Ooh, sizzling. Usually I have to put the temperature too low because over high heat, the burning oil usually burns the whole spring rolls, which is not good. See all the smoke coming out of the dish? And now it's ready. Look at this. You ready? This one is cooked in a nice way. Here you go, spring rolls. So you now fried up everything, and if you want to make it more appealing, you can use lettuce and tomatoes to decorate and make your dish more appetizing. So what you do is to wash iceberg lettuce and put the lips under the spring rolls, just so that it looks green. However you arrange it, up to you. It's time for creativity. And then I can use some Vietnamese coriander. And then finally, you can also chop a chili. So you put the chili into cold water. You can add some salt just to make the slices curl and make it nice. And then finally you put in the middle of the dish of spring rolls. Or you can also use the half-juiced carrot. Here is how to make the flour from carrot. And finally put the chili in the middle. Here's what I usually do, but of course I know you can do better. Now turning on to making the dipping sauce, one of the essential techniques in cooking Vietnamese food. My mom gives me a very easy recipe to do it, which is a proportion of 3 in 1. 1 sugar, 1 lime, 1 fish sauce. So now it's time to try it. Are you jealous? Many people like soaking the spring rolls into the dipping sauce. I do not, because I'm not a fish sauce person, so I usually just dip very light and then try it. The filling should be colorful like this, and the outside should be crispy, and inside it be filling and give a flavorful. It's not too solid like just the meat taste, but also the crunchiness coming from the wood deer, and of course the fresh from the herbs and the carrot and the bean sprout.